I don't know if you saw, I spoke to Snoop Dogg last week and talked to him about Crawford and Canelo, and he said, you know, I got Bud's the one.
Yeah, I've seen that. Everybody that believes in.
Alongside Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford's trainer has just confirmed the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford Dell, and there was no difference in all that's been said from the different sources so far.
Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo, just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. This is real simple.
Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, claimed the fight is scheduled to hold around Canelo Alvarez's two favorite fighting seasons of the year, the Cinco de Mayo weekend or the Mexican Independence Day.
That was at 154 pounds. When you look at that fight, what is in your mind if you think about the concept of him fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds? Two more weight classes up.
Get them legs in some shape, man, because I've moved.
According to Crawford's trainer, plans are already ongoing to ensure the fight is held around the Cinco de Mayo celebration period. Turki Alakshik and the parties involved have begun making efforts to ensure the fight comes to fruition and both fighters get their huge purses and make the biggest fight boxing fans want to see. Brian McIntyre has guided Terence Crawford to world titles in 4 weight divisions, and he'll be hoping he can lead him in a fight with Canelo Alvarez.
Get them legs in some shape. Make sure the legs are in good shape, because you don't have to side movement.
Is that a fight you would recommend for him?
Yeah, fuck it.
Crawford defeated Israel Madrimov to become ruler at 154 pounds, and he's now targeting a fight against the Mexican icon. Crawford has achieved many big things in boxing, but victory over Canelo would be his biggest accomplishment. The super middleweight world champion has only tasted defeat twice, against Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather, and it's the Bivol battle that McIntyre will be studying if a fight between Crawford and Canelo takes place. He made him move his feet. If the fight ever materializes, that's the fight that I would go back and watch, said McIntyre regarding Canelo versus Bivol when speaking on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel.
It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terence gonna get in there and do what he needs to do, perform.
I'd look at Mayweather versus Canelo too. WBN believes that Crawford's name is on a short list for the Mexican superstar after months of media coverage of the clash. World Boxing News also understands that Turki Alalshik could sponsor the event as a Riyadh Season USA show to be staged in Las Vegas. If confirmed, the super fight would be Alalshik's first involvement in a headliner staged in what bona fide fans consider the world's boxing capital. Alalshik prioritized Canelo versus Crawford in 2024 after linking with Bud for his August battle with Israel Madrimov. However, after his frustration leveled out, the Saudi chairman backtracked.
Heard Turki Alashik say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer.
He said, I just wrapped up an important meeting with my team, planning for the upcoming fights we will make for 2024 to 2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore, said Alalshik. Instead, I will focus on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford. That mood has since changed as Canelo versus Crawford again gathers pace. Crawford told former opponent Sean Porter he wasn't impressed with his prospective opponent's attitude toward the fight. I heard Canelo say, I'm easy work. If it were easy work, you'd take all that money that Alalshik is offering you, Crawford told the Porter Way podcast.
Believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo, just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. You just got to know.
But still, he wants $200 million for Benavidez and $150 million for me. So that just lets me know right there, I'm a threat. I'm a threat to him and his legacy, he added. Sparring partner Kenneth Sims Jr. spoke exclusively to WBN about the possibility of Crawford facing Canelo. Sims believes the ex-welterweight king can get the W. I'd like to see the Canelo fight, said Sims. I've seen him in the ring with much bigger guys, so I think he can pull it off.
Any offer, and look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
Currently, Crawford is the #1 choice on a list of few, with Christian Mbili and Jermell Charlo unlikely to get the call at this stage. A rematch with Dmitry Bivol could also be a consideration if the light heavyweight can avenge his loss to Artur Beterbiev and win all the belts at 175. However, Canelo usually has his Cinco de Mayo plans in hand by then. If his 2022 conqueror is victorious in the Beterbiev rematch on February 22nd, the super middleweight champion may revisit a Bivol revenge mission in September. Mexican boxer Canelo Alvarez has, in a way, confirmed his willingness to face Terence Crawford, creating buzz around what could be one of the most anticipated fights in boxing today.
For possibly face Crawford for coming up here, is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100%.
This potential showdown would feature two elite fighters at the pinnacle of their careers. The clash between Canelo and Crawford promises to be monumental. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, has dominated his division with power and precision. Crawford, widely regarded as one of the most skilled fighters of this era, brings a combination of technical brilliance and intelligent strategy that has propelled him to the top of the pound-for-pound rankings. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo Alvarez expressed his openness to the fight. "I'm in. Why not? Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me in my weight class, it's an easy fight. Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford. He moves a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw in his last fight and he doesn't move that much now. So if the money is right, I'm in right now. There are weight classes for a reason," Canelo added.
And focus on this fight, and then we'll see.
Yeah, the fight's going on as well with UFC, September 14th. How do you feel about that? Like that happened the last time we faced Kobe?
This statement marks a notable shift for Canelo, who had previously expressed reluctance to face Crawford, citing the lack of credit he would receive for defeating a smaller opponent. Meanwhile, Crawford has shown persistence in pursuing the matchup, willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance. Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, acknowledging that size will play a crucial role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Some analysts have expressed skepticism about Crawford's ability to compete effectively at super middleweight. This stems in part from his most recent fight, a points victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant display many expected.
Believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
Regardless of these concerns, the potential bout between Canelo and Crawford has captivated the imagination of boxing fans. The blend of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo Alvarez has established a tradition of having 2 fights a year, May and September, the latter on the weekend that celebrates Mexico's independence. Since 2022, he has scheduled his fights in these 2 months, and it is expected that he will do so again, so it is more intriguing who will be his next opponent. Due to the lack of interest in accepting the challenge of David Benavidez, the mandatory World Boxing Council 168-pound challenger, Terence Crawford looks like a strong option for Saul Alvarez and his first fight of the year.
Over with now, or are we still waiting for that second fight to happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to work things out and see where they go from there.
I know Tim Cruz named Crawford around out there as an opponent. What do you think about Crawford too?
Butterstop.
Although it seems that the fight is more media than competitive, as Crawford fights at 154 pounds, the super welterweight, 2 categories below that of the Guadalajara native. However, both Crawford and Sheikh Turki Al-Sheikh are trying to convince Alvarez to accept the fight, for which he was asking for $150 million. Given how unconvincing the fight against Terence Crawford could be in sporting terms, and the evasiveness against Benavidez, today at 175 pounds, Saul Alvarez could have other interesting options to open 2025 in the ring. Another name that has been mentioned for Canelo is Christian Mbili, a 29-year-old Frenchman with an undefeated 28-0 record, who in his last fight defeated Sergey Derevyanchenko in August and would be a contender for the World Boxing Council. A possibility that in September was already ruled out was William Skull 23-0, the International Boxing Federation challenger, an organization that removed the undisputed tag from the Mexican for refusing to fight the Cuban and stripped him of his world title. Boxing News is keen to propose a couple of natural super middleweight fighters. Diego Pacheco is one of them, who has a record of 22-0 and 18 knockouts. The 23-year-old would be a challenger for the WBC and WBO, although on January 25th, he has his next fight against Steven Nelson, 20-0 in Las Vegas. The other option listed by the media is the Cuban Osles Iglesias, who at 27 years of age has a record of 13-0 with 12 knockouts and is making his career with the International Boxing Organization.
Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller Amir Khan, but Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did at 155.
While waiting for a date and opponent to be announced, Canelo Alvarez does not seem to have any other options, unless it were for a rematch with Jaime Munguia, but it looks difficult after his defeat to Bruno Sarace, with whom he would go for the rematch. In the meantime, all information seems to be just rumors, and only Crawford seems most concrete and realistic at the point. Since his victory last August against Israel Madrimov, in which Crawford won by decision at 154 pounds, he has not announced what his next fight will be. Trainer Robert Garcia spoke about Crawford's situation and clarified that if he does not get a fight against Canelo Alvarez soon, the Omaha boxer will surely opt to retire.
No, because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined.
Crawford is a smart man. He's already achieved everything he wanted, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He already did a lot. He doesn't need to challenge himself. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. I've talked to him personally, and my feeling is that he wants that big fight against Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he might never fight again, Garcia said. There are many options for Crawford in the junior middleweight category, should he decide to challenge the current champions. The most attractive is the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Organization champion Sebastian Fundora. He could also challenge International Boxing Federation champion Bakram Murtazaliev. Other opponents who could make the list are Jermell Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Serhiy Bohachuk, and Xander Zayas.
So of course, why would he call out Benavidez when he's calling out Canelo, knowing that he's going to make double the money?
Because he wants to fight at 68, that's why.
So that's why, Eddie, don't ask.
However, for Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to look for another fight, as because of his outstanding career and unbeaten record, he has nothing left to prove. He already achieved it. I don't see him fighting just to please the fans who tell him he needs to fight this or that one, Garcia explained. Garcia believes that if it were about money, Crawford would have no need to fight again, as he has taken care of his fortune and has investments to back him up. His only reason to return to the ring would be to face Canelo and finish his career on a high. He's going to go out there and look for the big fight. Enjoy his life, man. He's a very smart man. He's invested his money. He doesn't need to fight one more time, but he's still looking for that big fight against Canelo. And if he gets it, he'll take it. But other than that, he might never fight again, added the trainer.
Why? You know why. He wants to make the biggest fucking payday.
Does he have a chance in the fight?
Everybody has a chance, but I think he'll put up some good rounds. I think he loses to Canelo, but he'll put up good rounds. Better than Charlo did.
If the fight takes place against the Guadalajara boxer, Garcia believes that Crawford can compete with Canelo for several rounds. Maybe not enough to beat him, but enough to earn his respect and that of the public. Look, I think Crawford could give good rounds. I think the first 6-8 rounds would be very competitive. Crawford has skills. Crawford is very strong. He has great speed and good power to earn Canelo's respect and show him respect. But eventually, I think Canelo is too big, too strong, but for those 6 rounds, I think it would be a very entertaining fight, Garcia concluded.
Crawford, Canelo.
He'll put up some good rounds. He'll fight. He'll probably get stopped and get knocked out, but he'll put up some good rounds. Yeah, but he'll put up some good.
The plans for a fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford seem to remain mere intention, because there is an obstacle bigger than agreeing on a multi-million-dollar purse, in which Canelo might not be flexible, even if Turki Al-Sheikh offers him the best pay of his career. To begin with, Canelo Alvarez is already on the other side, as he is the current boxer who generates the most profits, Although to avoid David Benavidez, he asks for a purse of $200 million, the reality is that it is just a shield to not accept the challenge. As for Bud Crawford, according to Matchroom chief Eddie Hearn, there are few options for the fight to happen. He told Fight Hype,
how is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54.
I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something Canelo really wanted to do, to be honest, Hearn told Fight Hype. The head of Matchroom recalled that the Arab promoter Turki Al-Sheikh is the one who wanted to promote this fight, but he gave a forceful fact that Canelo himself confessed to him in a chat about the reason why he would hesitate to accept a fight against Bud. I think his feeling is that when he beats Crawford, everyone will say, I beat a 154-pound fighter, Hearn said of a conversation with Canelo, so ultimately the promoter doesn't think the fight will happen. Crawford really can't come to fight in that fight because he's at a huge size disadvantage.
Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized.
The Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez debate is still raging on. The former undisputed welterweight champion is coming off a unanimous decision win over Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds, securing the WBA and interim WBO super welterweight belt. However, unlike his performance against Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds, Bud didn't look as good against the former champ from Uzbekistan.
There does come a time when you go up too many weight classes. Lomachenko, as great as he is and has been, a great fighter, you know, he went up 3, and lightweight was about it. You know, you could see.
This has led to many people ruling out Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez in case the fight ever happens at 168 pounds. However, not everyone feels that way. Some believe Crawford will adapt and will be a challenge for the super middleweight king. One of those people is the acclaimed boxing trainer Teddy Atlas. The man who once trained Mike Tyson recently appeared in an interview with Fight Hub TV, where he shared his take on what Crawford is capable of in the 168-pound division. Don't discount his first time in 154. Don't discount that. There'll be a little growth there too, Atlas confidently declared during the interview.
But Crawford has the skeleton. He has the body frame to put more weight on. But going up now, another one to 168, not even 160.
Don't go and believe it's going to be the same Crawford when he steps up to 168 if that happens. No, this is going to be a better armed Crawford, even better than he's been, Atlas continued. He went on to suggest after the closely contested bout against Madrimov in August, Crawford would have the knowledge and confidence to acquire another belt in the division. Sharing his final verdict on a potential Canelo versus Crawford debate, Atlas told the reporter, "So don't be so sure that the Crawford you saw with Madrimov is not going to be different. He will be different. Very few people have the appetite or inclination for challenging themselves, Mr. Crawford does. I ain't never going against that guy. Father Time might catch him, but I don't know if a weight class can catch him."
But to skip, I would prefer that he make it a catch weight, that he make Canelo come down a little bit, make it a catch weight. But having said all of that,
it's a tremendous challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter and bigger and stronger, and he can punch and time you. But just because you're smaller, Crawford will come up with a game plan that will make the other guy use his size. However, it's worth mentioning that the WBO has ordered Sebastian Fundora and Terence Crawford to reach a deal for a fight within 30 days for the World Boxing Organization's super welterweight title. While a confirmation on the deal has not been officially announced at the moment, Fundora's promoter Samson Lukowicz told Boxing Scene they are solely focused on a fight against Crawford. However, he acknowledged that Crawford wants to climb up to the 168-pound division to face Canelo, but if that doesn't happen, Fundora is ready for Crawford.
all of that, I ain't never betting against Crawford. That's all I can tell you. No matter what, no matter who he's in there with, what the weight.
In the meantime, someone who has fought both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has shared his thoughts on why the two men haven't been in the ring yet. Former unified super lightweight champion Amir Khan jumped 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez back in 2016 at a catchweight of 155 pounds. The fight ended when Canelo landed a thundering right-hand square on Khan's chin in the 6th round that sent the Brit crashing onto the canvas. Khan also fought Terence Crawford back in 2019. After being dropped in the very first round, the Englishman lost the fight in the 6th via technical knockout. In an interview with Boxing News, Khan said, "It's going to be a great test for Crawford."
I think that Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes.
However, turning to why the fight hasn't happened yet, Khan said, "It seems to me that Canelo is scared and doesn't want to fight him. All these excuses he's coming out with." Mexican icon Canelo has also enjoyed his fair share of success in recent years. After picking up the undisputed super middleweight title in 2021, he fell short in a challenge against the then WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol, but the 34-year-old has since picked up 5 wins on the spin. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.